Okay, we're live in the Facebook group. I'm here with Christina from NC Tripping, and we're really excited about this live stream. I feel like this is way overdue because everyone gets. I got a notification. Hold on one second. Okay, it looks like we'll be okay, but it looks like it's still streaming. Okay. So this is way overdue because we get asked often in the Facebook group about traveling in North Carolina. So thank you for taking the time to, answer all the questions. And if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and I know a lot of people already know who you are, but I figure you can go ahead and introduce yourself anyway.
Sure. I'm Christina Riley. I'm one half of NC Tripping. My husband and I run NC Tripping, and we travel around North Carolina pretty much every weekend with our 4-year-old, and we write and photograph and share it on social media for everyone. We moved to North Carolina. We aren't native North Carolinians, so just like everyone in your group, we relocated here at some point. And we just found North Carolina to be home. So it's been an adventure to travel around and get to experience it from a new set of eyes. And we just really love traveling.
Yeah. Well, it's so fun watching your account and the different places that you guys go, because you do go so many different places that I've never even thought about going in North Carolina. Yeah. But one of the things too that so many people coming to Raleigh, ask about is it's so centrally located. So one of the big positives is it's right between the mountains and the beach. So it's a short drive to both locations. Now, what's your preference? Do you like the beach or do you like mountains?
So last year, if you had asked me this, I would have said definitely the mountains. But this year we did a lot more of the beach, and it's nice because I think we're getting to a point too where we can actually just like sit still at the beach.
Yeah.
With my daughter. I mean, she's 4
Kids,
years old,
yeah.
so it was
Right.
she can sit still at the beach, so we're starting to enjoy it more. But I hear people say all the time about their hometowns of like, oh, there's nothing to do here. And that's where I have to come back and be like, no, man, I've been traveling every single weekend in North Carolina for almost 4 or 5 years. And there's still stuff that we haven't gone to and we still haven't seen. And there's just a treasure trove of adventures and things to explore for everyone, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So you're definitely more you used to be more of a mountains, but now you're
I'm still probably mountains.
A mountains person.
Yeah. I grew up outside in West Virginia, and so the mountains are kind of where I feel at home. And we really love hiking and waterfalls, and so this is just North Carolina is the best for the outdoors.
Yeah.
And all of it's really easily accessible too, I think. When you go to the mountains, there are crazy hikes. There are like 10 milers. There's the ladders and the ropes and all that stuff, but there's so many that our 4-year-old hikes on her own in Crocs and and still have epic views, and you see beautiful waterfalls. So I think that that's something that makes North Carolina really special.
Right, absolutely. So if you were going to take a day trip to the mountains, where would you recommend going?
So for a day trip, I would recommend going to Hanging Rock. It's the closest waterfall to Raleigh.
Okay.
That's my little secret, because there's actually 5 waterfalls in Hanging Rock State Park. It's a little over a 2-hour drive. It's not, if you want to do like a weekend, you're going to have to go a little bit farther. So I would consider like Boone and Blowing Rock and Asheville and Hendersonville. That's a weekend stay. That's not a day trip. But we frequently do Hanging Rock State Park. There's the Hanging Rock loop is under 3 miles round trip. Super easy to do, 45 minutes up, 45 minutes down, and you can add in a waterfall to all of that too.
Yeah, that sounds nice. And how far a drive is that from Raleigh?
That's about 2.5 hours.
Okay. So yeah, that's good distance away. Would that be a good place to go check out fall colors?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. We've done Hanging Rock for the fall, and it's so beautiful, and I think that it's underrated because a lot of people go to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Blue Ridge Parkway was packed last year, car to
Yeah.
car, bumper to bumper traffic. That was the first year really ever that it was so bad because people were looking to get out on the parkway. And meanwhile, Hanging Rock is still going to be busy, but I think for the Triangle, that's one of the best places where you can get a good vantage point of the mountains and all, the sea of changing colors and oranges and reds.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a good tip because I know a lot of people coming from the north, especially right now, are asking about where the best places to look at the fall colors where they don't have to drive 4 hours to get to
Yeah.
Asheville. And the other thing I get asked often is the apple picking in the area, which I know this year is kind of sad, but if it wasn't for this year, if we were looking at next year, where would be a good
If we're
place to
looking
go
at
apple
last
picking?
year.
Yeah, last year.
So if you're gonna do a day trip, my two favorite ones closest to the Triangle, and it's still a little bit far away, is Millstone Creek Orchards in Ramsar. That's near Asheboro, which is right in the center of the state. They like to
Okay.
call themselves the heart of NC. It's right by the North Carolina Zoo, so if you want to make it like a packed weekend of the zoo and apple picking, Millstone is great. Also, Kerrigan Farms in Mooresville is a day trip from the Triangle, and that's about 2 hours. But the best apple picking is in Hendersonville, which is a little bit further. It's south of Asheville. That's where you're going to want to spend a weekend, but it's literally Apple Orchard Valley. It's Apple Valley. They have the North Carolina Apple Festival there. It's
cool.
Insane how many apples are there.
Okay. So, and that's good to know because that is something that a lot of people from up north miss a lot. Yeah. So that would be a good place for them to go if they're really missing that aspect of where they're coming from.
Sure. And the apple cider donuts. That was a big thing. I know as a semi-former northerner that apple cider donuts were a big deal. And so a lot of them have apple cider donuts too.
Okay. Yeah. I saw your post recently about the Mooresville, the place in Mooresville, and it looks delicious. So
and Kerrigan Farms also has in Mooresville has a big natural spring quarry in the summer. So it's truly an all season farm there too. So if you want to go swimming in the quarry,
go in the summer. Okay, that's cool. That's good to know. And then the other question that we get asked all the time is obviously all about the beaches because a lot of people haven't experienced the beaches here. So, we have everything unique from Wilmington to the Outer Banks and a lot of the small coastal towns. Now, what would your recommendations to be of have to see places on the North Carolina coast?
Definitely the Outer Banks. I think the Outer Banks is an experience in itself. Jockey's Ridge is the tallest sand dunes. You have the wild horses of the Outer Banks in Corolla, which is a super cool experience and it's unlike we have wild horses also in Shackleford Banks a little bit midway down the coast of North Carolina. But the northern Corolla horses, when you take a wild horse tour there, you're seeing them in like next to houses. And if you like stay in the 4x4 beach in Corolla, wake up and there's a horse outside.
Yeah, it's cool.
So it's different from around Beaufort and Shackleford Banks where you can see the horses just roaming around behind a lighthouse and kind of like in the wild. Definitely Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Definitely Wilmington. Because Wilmington, you have that interestingness of the riverfront of the town and Battleship, North Carolina. But then you also have very distinct and different beaches up and down Wilmington of Wrightsville and Curie and Carolina Beach. They're all a little bit different.
Yeah, I agree. And Wilmington is probably more you could easily do in a day, like
Yeah.
just go for the day and enjoy it and go there and back. Outer Banks isn't too bad of a drive either, but there is
Yeah.
a lot to see there.
There
So
is.
usually you want to spend more of a weekend or something like that to kind of get
Yeah.
the full experience, because there is so much in that area and to see. So, and then don't both locations have an aquarium? Is that right? Do you know?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Both locations have an aquarium, and then there is one more aquarium: Fort Fisher, Roanoke Island. Carl, what's the other one? There we have three aquarium, right? He's not listening to me. I need my fact checker.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I knew they were definitely the two. So, and they're good aquariums. They're fun to go to. But definitely, Wilmington is the on the river is a total. It's a really fun experience. And then there is nothing like the Outer Banks for sure. And then what about like New Bern? What are your thoughts on traveling anywhere like New Bern or some of the areas that are just off of the coast?
Sure. The Inner Banks area of North Carolina is beautiful all on its own because you have a lot of these small towns that dot the intercoastal highway and or waterway and have unique small town charm of like you're just at the beach, but you're not. And so you've got this riverfront, beautiful, just totally scenic that it's totally different from the beach. But yet, if you wanted to go hop over to the beach, it's there.
Right.
We do a lot of Swansboro,
Okay.
right outside of Jacksonville.
Uh-huh.
And there's some great river cruises that you can take and marsh cruises that into Hammocks Beach State Park where you can go shelling and you've got this completely wild island all to yourself. And it's a whole new experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what advice would you give for anyone new to the area? So, what would you say on exploring the new state that they live in? Top places they should check out. Would it be everything that we talked about? Yeah.
I think that first off, start in your own county. That Wake County is packed full of things that you wouldn't expect. There's chainsaw art in Umstead, Yates Mill Pond, the historic mill.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie's got the Chinese Lantern Festival,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so much even just within your own county that
Yeah.
the way that we start our explorations is we just sit down and look at a map and we just be like, what's that? And put it into Google and see what's there. Because that's how our travel exploration started because we were living in Korea. So we didn't know anything. And so we just had a map and we were like, right there, what's there? And that's really truly the best way to explore around you of like you create a little radius of how long of a trip that you want to take. And then on the map, you just start picking things and you just start looking and see what's around. If there's a festival, if there's something going on that might interest you.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's great advice. And I mean, is that how you kind of got acclimated to the area? Is just by doing that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of like, let's just see what's there, or inspiration online as well of like you start saving things that you see and that you like, and you just make a plan to go out and do
it. Yeah. Yeah. Last question I have is about skiing, because that's probably one of the last questions or one of the other questions that we get often in the group, which, our skiing is totally different from skiing near California, West Coast. But if you were going to go skiing in North Carolina or close to North Carolina, where would you recommend going?
I'd go to Boone. There are several different ski resorts up in Boone that, you've got Sugar Mountain, you've got Beach Mountain, and truly those are some of the best ski destinations in North Carolina. I'm not a skier, so I can't personally be like, this is great.
Right.
But we did last year, we took our daughter up to Boone and we did snow tubing at Hawk's Nest,
Oh, that's
and that
fun.
was a lot of fun. Boone in the high country is absolutely beautiful. It's
Hmm.
truly a 4-season destination, and
Hmm.
you can't go wrong in Boone. I just love Boone. I'm not paid to say
Yeah.
that. I just love Boone.
No, yeah, I do too. It's beautiful, and I mean, what's interesting though is Boone is also so different from Asheville, and
Yeah,
so it's worth exploring both locations because
sure.
the other spot that's really popular here is Biltmore,
Mhm.
and what North Carolina is known for. But Asheville is totally different from Boone, and gives just a totally different vibe. So.
Sure.
But yeah, but I love the mountains. I'm more of a mountain person than a beach, but the beach is fun too. So
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more to do with it. If you're looking to relax, the beaches of North Carolina do a terrific job at that because you're going to have beautiful beach. You're going to have beachfront access. You're not going to have large condos like you might have in other popular beach
right,
states nearby. You're not
yes,
going to have that kind of vibe. You're going to have a beach house, chill out, go get some fresh seafood,
yeah,
great culinary experiences all up and down the coast. And each place along the North Carolina coast also has great attractions, whether you want to have, all in the Outer Banks or you just want to chill. Our favorite beach for chilling is Holden Beach. It's
yeah,
down, around the southern
yeah,
tip, and
yeah,
you just have it all.
yeah, yeah. No, it's great for sure. Yeah. Well, is there anything I didn't cover that you think we should add and share with everyone? What do you think?
Not that I can think of, but I do think, really look into small towns around Raleigh, as well as those quick 1-day destinations that have something unique to offer. The Wilson Whirligigs are super cool,
Yeah.
and I love recommending that to people who have small-ish children. There's a brewery right across the street, so mom and dad get something too afterwards.
Yeah.
But the Whirligigs are these giant kinetic sculptures that um, a man built. He was a former farm repairman, and he just built these really cool structures. And it's fun to go sit and just watch the whirligigs spin around and grab some barbecue and some beer on your way there too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's not too far of a drive either. It's
No.
it's
Mm-mm.
it's really close to make a quick day trip and go explore the area that you live.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time. Can you share information either in the comments or share it, your Instagram account and your website and everything for
Sure.
people to follow. And then if anyone has any questions, what is the best way for people to contact you?
I'm on everything. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, email.
Okay.
Facebook asked me today if I wanted to link my WhatsApp, and I'm like, no, I don't. Too much.
It's too much, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll make sure I tag you in the live stream, and anyone can reach out with any questions that they have.
Sure.
But really appreciate you taking the time and for all the information that you provide on the account, because it's super informative, and I get so many compliments about your account from so many of my clients that say that they love it. So thanks for all that you do, and thanks for taking the time tonight. And I guess that's all I got.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for having me, Allison.
Yeah,
And I'll see you
absolutely.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I look forward to meeting you in real life. Yes. All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Bye.